Andre Anthony Gray is an English professional footballer who plays as a striker for Championship club Burnley. A product of the Shrewsbury Town youth system, Gray came to prominence after scoring 57 goals in 111 appearances in a two-season spell with Luton Town. He represented England C at international level. Club career Shrewsbury Town Gray began his career in the academy at hometown club Wolverhampton Wanderers, but was released at age 13. Gray joined the youth set-up at League Two side Shrewsbury Town in 2004, signing his first professional one-year contract prior to the start of the 2009 Euro 10 season. Awarded the number 20 shirt, he made his debut on the opening day of the season, coming on as an 89th-minute substitute for Nathan Elder in the Shrewsbury Euro 1 win over Burton Albion. An injury crisis saw Gray make 4 further cameos, with what would be his final appearance for the club coming as a 57th-minute replacement for Chris Bright in a 2-0 Football League Trophy second-round defeat to Accrington Stanley on October 20. He spent periods of the 2009 Euro 10 season away on loan, but competition for places meant that Gray was relegated to the reserve team substitutes bench. Gray was released by the Shrews on May 14, 2010, having made just 5 appearances for the club. Looking back on his time at Shrewsbury, Gray said, "I was at the stage in my life where I thought everything was set for me. I didn't Euro unregistered trademark T really care about playing in Shrewsbury Euro unregistered trademark S reserves, which it showed me Euro unregistered trademark T have been." Afc Telford United, Gray joined Conference North side Afc Telford United on a 1-month loan on November 26, 2009. Gray's good form meant that his loan was extended for a second month. He scored his first goal for the club with a late winner against local rivals Stafford Rangers on Boxing Day. Competition for places meant that Gray gradually lost his place in the team and he returned to Shrewsbury Town on February 5, 2010. Gray played 6 times for the Bucks, scoring once. Hinckley United On March 5, 2010. Gray joined Conference North side Hinckley United on an emergency 1-month loan. He made 5 appearances and scored no goals for the club, before returning to Shrewsbury Town. Gray returned to De Montfort Park in June 2010 and signed a permanent 1-year contract with the club. He scored his first goal for the Knitters with a late equaliser in a 2-2 draw with Harrogate Town on September 4. After 2 further goals that month and defeats to Quisley and Eastwood Town, Gray's goal-scoring form dried up. His form returned in late March 2011, when he scored a brace in a 4-0 drubbing of Redditch United. He scored 4 goals in a 7-2 thrashing of Solihull Moors on April 23 and ended the 2010 Euro 11 season having made 35 appearances and scored 14 goals. Gray remained with Hinckley for the 2011 Euro 12 season and showed fine form, with his goal-scoring exploits firing the Knitters to an FA Cup first-round proper match versus Conference Premier side Tamworth on November 12, 2011. He scored the opening goal in the 2-2 draw, but couldn't find the net in the replay, which was lost 1-0. Gray also helped the Knitters to the second-round proper of the FA Trophy, scoring a late winner against Conference Premier side Wrexham side in the first round, though he was unable to find the net against Luton Town in the following round, to whom the Knitters crashed out 3-0 in a replay. His exploits garnered him attention from Championship clubs. Gray made 45 appearances and scored 23 goals during the 2011 Euro 12 season. Gray departed Hinckley in the summer of 2012. Having made 85 appearances and scored 37 goals across his 2 spells with the club. Gray looked back on his years playing part-time with the Knitters as the point at which he regained his focus, saying, "As long as I still had a job and was getting paid, it was okay. Until I started playing and realized that full-time football was the only thing I wanted to do, it kicked me into gear. Being bored all day, waiting to go training, made me really want it." Luton Town On March 22, 2012, Gray signed for Conference Premier side Luton Town on loan until the end of the 2011 Euro 12 season with a view to a permanent move, having impressed the club's backroom staff with his performances against the club in the FA Trophy. Going straight into the starting lineup, he scored on his debut in a 1-1 draw against Shrewsbury Town on March 24 and hit a goal in each of his next games against York City, Braintree Town and Hayes and Yeading United. This meant that Gray became the only player in Luton Town history to have scored in each of his first 4 games for the club. He scored his 5th goal in a 2-0 win against champions Fleetwood Town in the last game of the season to secure Luton a 5th-place finish in the league and the last available remaining playoff spot. Gray scored the opening goal in the playoff semi-final first leg at home against Wrexham, which Luton won 3-2 on aggregate to set up a final against York City at Wembley Stadium. Luton lost the game 2-1, despite Gray scoring the opening goal after just 71 seconds. In total, he scored 7 goals in 12 games during his loan spell. The day after the playoff final defeat, Gray signed a 2-year professional contract with Luton for a fee of £30,000. Beginning the 2012-13 season in a substitute role, he scored his first goal of the campaign against Macclesfield Town on September 1, 2012 and broke back into the starting lineup. Gray's performance in a 2-0 FA Cup 4th qualifying round victory over Cambridge United in late October saw him win the FA Cup Player of the Round award. On December 1, he helped the Hatters into the 3rd round proper of the FA Cup, scoring the opener in a 2-1 second-round victory over Dorchester Town. Luton were drawn against Gray's hometown club Wolverhampton Wanderers in the 3rd round and he played 89 minutes of the 1-0 giant killing on January 5, 2014. On January 14, following a run of 10 games in which he scored 8 goals, Gray signed a new 2.5-year contract, which would keep him at Kenilworth Road until June 2015. He played 75 minutes of Luton's shock 1-0 FA Cup 4th round giant killing of Norwich City on January 26, but the Hatters' run was stopped by Millwall in the 5th round, who ran out 3-0 victors. Gray rounded out the 2012-13 season with a run of 6 goals in 6 games, which included 2 braces in the Hatters' final 2 games of the season. Gray made 54 appearances and scored 20 goals in a season which saw Luton finish 2 places outside the playoffs. Gray was primarily used as an impact substitute during the beginning of the 2013-14 season, with new signing Mark Cullen preferred in a starting role by new Luton manager John Still. He scored his first goal of the season on September 24, 2013, the club's 11th league game, in a 4-0 victory over Woking. He then went on a goal-scoring run and reclaimed his place in the team, scoring 6 goals in 5 games, culminating with a hat-trick in a 4-1 victory over Hyde on October 12. A run of 11 goals in 10 games from November through to January helped the Hatters to the top of the Conference Premier table. Gray confirmed he had no intention of leaving the club midway through the season, stating that it would be stupid to with the club having a realistic chance of promotion back to the Football League and he instructed his agent to reject any approaches. After scoring a further 7 goals in 4 games in February, Gray was named as the Conference Premier Player of the Month. In total, Gray scored 30 goals in 45 games during the 2013-14 season, and won the first silverware of his career, as Luton were promoted back to the Football League as Conference Premier champions. He was recognised by the club for his performances by winning the Young Player of the Year award. Gray was the leading scorer in the Conference Premier and he was also named in the Conference Premier Team of the season. He was the subject of reported transfer interest from League One neighbours Milton Keynes Dons in May 2014, but the Dons balked at his £300,000 price tag. Gray departed the Hatters in late June 2014, having made 111 appearances and scored 57 goals during his time at Kenilworth Road. Brentford. On June 27, 2014, Gray signed a 3-year deal at Championship side Brentford for an undisclosed fee and was given the number 19 shirt. After joining, he said the fact that the manager wanted me was a big part in selling me on Brentford. They had a vision of how they wanted me to play and also they have a vision for this club. As soon as Brentford came along I knew it was a good opportunity for me. After scoring in friendlies versus Barnet and Nice in July 2014, Gray made his competitive debut for the club on the opening day of the 2014 Euro 15 season against Charlton Athletic, making the first Football League start of his career. He lasted 67 minutes of the 1-1 draw before being replaced by fellow new signing Nick Praschwitz. Gray scored his first competitive goal for the club in the following game, netting in an incredible 6-6 League Cup first-round shootout win over Dagenham and Redbridge, and he scored the first league goal of his career on the stroke of half-time in a 2-0 win over Rotherham United on August 30. After a long goalless run, Gray regained form in November, scoring 5 goals in 4 of 5 successive wins and receiving the Championship Player of the Month award. He also earned a place in the Football League Team of the Week for his goal-scoring performances in wins over Nottingham Forest and Millwall in mid-November. Gray's goal in a 3-2 win over Cardiff City on December 20 was the last of a run of 7 goals in 8 games. A sparse goal return in the early months of 2015 saw manager Mark Warburton drop Gray to the bench in favour of Chris Long for the visit of Huddersfield Town to Griffin Park on March 3. He quickly regained his starting berth and finished the regular season with 4 goals in his last 10 appearances, helping Brentford to 5th position and a match-up with Middlesbrough in the playoff semi-finals. He scored in the first leg, but a successful first full league season ended after a 5-1 aggregate defeat. Gray made 50 appearances and scored 18 goals during the 2014 Euro 15 season. Amidst 3 transfer bids from Hull City, Gray's 2 goals in his first 2 appearances of the 2015 Euro 16 season prompted Brentford to offer him a new, improved contract, but he left the club on August 21, 2015. Gray finished his time at Griffin Park having scored 20 goals in 52 appearances and departed for a club record fee. Burnley. On August 21, 2015. Gray joined Championship side Burnley on a 3-year contract for an undisclosed fee, a believed to be a club record a £6 million deal, double the previous record jointly held by George Boyd and Stephen Fletcher. Gray signed on the eve of Brentford's Championship clash at Turf Moor but wasn't eligible to make his debut against his former club, having signed too late. Gray's former club Luton Town revealed their financial windfall after the striker's transfer to Burnley. A club statement read, we are guaranteed to receive a shade over £1.1 million from the fee, which will be spread over 3 seasons. An initial figure approaching £300,000 followed by 2 of just over £400,000 each. On August 29, 2015, Gray made his Burnley debut in a 2-1 away victory to Bristol City at Ashton Gate. International career. Gray's goal-scoring record for Luton in the final months of the 2011 Euro 12 season raised the attention of the England C team, and he was named in the squad for an International Challenge Trophy match against Russia U23 in June 2012. He made his debut in a 4-0 defeat, playing the full 90 minutes. He was later called into the squad to face Belgium U23 in September 2012. He came on as a half-time substitute for Stephen Brogan and scored his first international goal with the winner in a 2-1 victory. The win saw England C qualify for the semi-final of the International Challenge Trophy. He played in the semi-final on February 5, 2013 against Turkey A2, which England C lost 1-0. Gray captained England C in the second half of a 6-1 friendly win over Bermuda on June 5, 2013. Scoring the team's 6th goal. He appeared again in a 2-2 friendly draw with Czech Republic U21 in November 2013, starting the match and lasting 71 minutes before being replaced by Dan Fitchett. Gray played in a friendly versus Jordan U23 at King Abdullah Stadium in Amman on March 4, 2014, starting in the 1-0 victory and being replaced by Dan Fitchett at half-time. Gray's return to the Football League in June 2014 meant that he was no longer eligible for England C. He won 6 caps and scored 2 goals. Personal life. Gray was introduced to football by his grandfather and suffered heartbreak at age 13 when his grandfather died. Acting as a mentor and father figure for his younger half-brother Cody, Gray said, "I know what my granddad wants me to do and that a Euro unregistered trademark S look after my family. A Euro unregistered trademark S driving me to work harder." He is an Arsenal supporter. Gray has a 4-inch scar on his left cheek, having been stabbed in the face in Wolverhampton in a gang-related incident in 2011. He spoke in May 2015 of having started to grow out of a gang lifestyle around the time of the incident and credited his mother, close friends and Luton Town for turning his life around. Career statistics, as of match played December 26, 2015. Honours: Luton Town, Conference Premier, 2013. A Euro 14, Individual, Football League Championship Player of the Month, November 2014, Football League Team of the Week, 3. A Euro November 9, 2014, Conference Premier Golden Boot, 2013. A Euro 14, Conference Premier Team of the Season, 2013. A Euro 14, Luton Town Young Player of the Year, 2013. A Euro 14, Conference Premier Player of the Month, February 2014, FA Cup Player of the Round, 2012. A Euro 13. References. External links: Andre Gray career statistics at Soxabase.